As Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the TPT podcast. Today, we're going to be going over all things Chiefs, some potential wide receiver groups that Kansas City. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the TPT podcast. Today, we're going to be going over all things Chiefs, some potential wide receiver groups that Kansas City Chiefs could have, and also some other offseason moves we could see the Chiefs have, and the NFL draft coming up here next week.
65 toss power trap. That might pop wide open, Rats.
Kansas City Chiefs absolutely phenomenal.
Well, as we know, the NFL draft is next week. So the Chiefs have a lot of decisions to make, who they're going to draft, who they're going to try to trade for, bring in. A lot of moves are going to go down these next couple weeks for the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to talk a lot about those moves right now. The first move I think the Kansas City Chiefs should make is at the wide receiver position. What are they going to do at wideout? A lot of ways you could do it. Are they going to draft a guy in the first round? Are they going to trade up for a guy in the first round? What I would like the Kansas City Chiefs to do is try to sign or trade, for a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. You trade for a guy like DeAndre Hopkins or a guy like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. So you have that guy maybe for a year, 2 years, but they also need to draft a guy like a Jalen Hyatt, Cedric Tillman. You have Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers. A lot of those guys were working out with the Chiefs when Patrick Mahomes in Texas. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But there's a lot of options they could go in the draft. So I think they do need to potentially get a guy in the draft and trade for a guy. So if we look at it now, our wide receiver group now, right now you're looking at Kadarius Toney, who would be your number one receiver. Then you're looking at Richie James, MVS, Sky Moore, Justin Watson, and then there's the question mark guy, Justin Ross. So you have those guys, those four guys I just named. Then you'll have your Justin Ross, who a lot of people are hyping up that he is potential to be a number one guy, to be a Pro Bowl guy, a breakout type guy. I don't really know if that's something that's going to happen, where you see him from practice squad have those type of injuries just being a absolute stud out there on the football field, especially how hard it is to come in with the Chiefs and play right away. That's why I said I think the Chiefs should go get a veteran guy and then go get a rookie receiver, because I like our receivers we have right now. Richie James, MVS, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore. I mean, you have some options. And then you have Justin Watson to fill out the roster. But I do think they need to make a big-time move and try to bring in another guy. Can they get it done with those receivers I named right there if they don't go get another guy? If they do draft a rookie, I don't know if he'll be ready to come in and make a type of impact like a Juju Smith-Schuster did right away, because it's so hard to play in Andy Reid's offense right away. So those are some of my thoughts about what the Chiefs need to do at receiver. Is if they do go to the rookie route, is he going to be able to play right away? Is he going to be able to come in and play? And some of those rookies, Jalen Hyatt was not there working out with the Kansas City Chiefs. Neither was Cedric Tillman. But you had Quentin Johnson from TCU. Big guy, big body receiver. I like him a lot. You had Zay Flowers. You had some other guys there working out with the Chiefs. Richie James was there. Kadarius Toney was there. Obviously, those guys are already on the team. Getting acquainted with Patrick Mahomes, getting ready. As you're seeing this more and more with the Kansas City Chiefs, is they're working out all off season long with Patrick Mahomes. He's having these guys ready for the season. So it's good that he's now taking a look at some of these young receivers that he's requested workouts from. You didn't quite see that last year. You saw Sky Moore working out with Patrick Mahomes after he was drafted. But Who are they going to go with in the draft? I like Quentin Johnson. I like Jalen Hyatt. I like Cedric Tillman. Those are the three guys. I think if they draft a guy like Quentin Johnson, they would have to trade up in the draft. They would have to trade up into the first round. Are the Kansas City Chiefs going to do that? They are. The draft is held in Kansas City. So do they make a big time first round move there at pick 31? I'm pretty sure that's their pick. So do they trade up into the 20s or into the teens to try to get a guy like Quentin Johnson, or even Jalen Hyatt? Jalen Hyatt, I think, would be a good fit for the Chiefs, but mostly Johnston. Patrick Mahomes never really had a big body receiver. He hasn't. He's never really had a big body receiver. Juju was kind of that guy, but he's still kind of just a possession guy. If you could get a guy where you can just kind of throw it up to, I would love to see that for Patrick Mahomes. They need that type of receiver because you have MBS who's going to be a field stretcher. You're going to have Richie James who's going to be your kind of gizmo gadget guy. You also have Kadarius Toney is going to be that, but I feel like he's going to be more of that Tyreek Hill fit. So you have those type of guys that are replacing what you lost because you lost McCole Hardman. You obviously lost Tyreek Hill from 2 years ago. So they've kind of replaced some of the things they need because they do need kick returner and punt returner. I'll be curious to see if Richie James does both or if they have to consider Kadarius Toney on kick returning and Richie James on punt return or vice versa. Or Justin Ross, whoever it may be, they have on kick returning.
If you guys are looking for the best jerseys for the best prices, make sure you guys go check out Jaden's Jerseys. We have all your favorite teams in NBA, NFL, MLB, and college football and basketball. Best prices and the best quality. So make sure you guys go check out all of our selections at Jaden's Jerseys right now.
Another thing I think they need to address on the defensive side of the ball is veteran corner. I know these young corners have played very well in McDuffie, Joshua Williams, and and Watson, which is kind of crazy to me. It is crazy to me that you have Jalen Watson, McDuffie, and you have Joshua Williams, who are three rookies who came in and had valuable minutes in the Super Bowl and in the playoffs. So I think that is big, big, big. That you had guys that were so young, rookies, coming and make an impact. That being said, there's such thing as a sophomore slump. So I think they need to still go get a veteran corner, bring him in, make these guys even better. Same with D-line. Obviously, you got guys like Chris Jones. Do they bring back Frank Clark? I think that is still an option where they bring back Frank Clark. I think Karlaftis takes a huge step up. He's been training with Tom Lee. I've seen videos and pictures of him training with Tom Lee. That is a great guy to train with because of their similarities. Big power guys with high motors. So I think he takes a big step up. I think that this defense is going to take a big step up. And that's huge. If they can have the defense give Patrick Mahomes extra possessions, that's big time. They added Mike Edwards. That's interesting to me. Do they bring in another safety during the draft, or do they try to stick with either Brian Cook or Mike Edwards? They brought in Trent excuse me. He had a great year for the Chargers last year. They got him on a relatively cheap deal. Our linebacking crew, honest with you guys and gals, is probably one of the best in the league. Probably one of the best in the league. I really like our linebacking crew. You have Bolton, Trenquell, and you have his name has escaped me. Of Nick Bolton, and Willie Gay. Of course, you can't forget about Willie Gay. I like Willie Gay a lot. Sometimes he gets hated on, but Willie Gay, you have Nick Bolton, who made huge plays in the Super Bowl. And then you add Drew Tranquil to that mix. This linebacking crew is great. The defensive line, I do think in the second round, they need to add, or in the first round, I would not be opposed to them adding a defensive end in the first round. the tackle position. What are they going to do at the other tackle position? So I think the first 3 rounds are very important for the Chiefs. After that, the 4th, 5th, 6th round, you can move those picks. I really, truly believe you can move those picks for a guy like D-Hop, Mike Evans, whoever it may be, because there's going to be guys that pop up. You're going to see some of these veteran receivers pop up in the summer. When you really get deep into the summer, you're going to see some of these guys pop up, and the Chiefs try to go after these guys closer and closer to OTAs and training camp. So those are some of my moves the Kansas City Chiefs need to make to be back in the Super Bowl next year. A lot of good big games this year. They play a lot of primetime teams. They have a Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles. Still a lot of moves for the Kansas City Chiefs. Still a lot of pieces to make. In other news for the Chiefs, they did sign a veteran backup in Blaine Gabbert. So it looks like the Chiefs keep going with the former Jag backup or former Jag first round picks and quarterbacks as they go with Blaine Gabbert to back up Patrick Mahomes. So will Shane Buechele, will he be the backup, or will it be Blaine Gabbert? Will he be the second string or the third string? I like Shane Buechele. I think he was a very, very good backup quarterback in the preseason. So I think it'll be interesting to see Blaine Gabbert and Shane Buechele back up for the backup position of Patrick Mahomes. Don't worry, Patrick Mahomes' job is clearly safe with Blaine Gabbert at quarterback. So you bring in a guy like that, I think it's good to bring in a good veteran backup. I use veteran backup for Tom Brady for the last 3 years. So they bring him in on a 1-year deal. So we'll see some other moves the Chiefs make after the draft, because there's still some guys out there. They're going to make some more moves on the defense side of the ball, tackle, receiver, even running back. What are they going to do with Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Are they going to bring in a veteran? Are they going to bring back Jerick McKinnon? So some of the moves at running back, we know Pacheco, I think his job is safe. I would like to see them draft a running back maybe in the 4th or 5th round, kind of get those 2 young running backs under contract, maybe a Lightning and Thunder. You have your power back, even though, don't get it twisted, Pacheco can hit the hole and be gone, but get more of a scat back, receiving back, because Jerick McKinnon is getting up there in age. Even though he had a great season, he had 9 total touchdowns this season. So the running back position, what are they going to do there? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you think the Kansas City Chiefs should do at each position in the draft. Who should they draft? Who should they trade for? Who should they sign? Let me know in the comment section below. But before we get out of here, we're going to talk about the TPT podcast heading to Kansas City for the draft next Thursday. 1 week from now, the Kansas City Chiefs will be in Kansas City and have a live show. The location will be notified this week. At the start of next week, you guys will know the location of where the TPT podcast will be. I will let you guys know where we'll be at, where we'll be recording. If you guys want to come watch us live show, let me know in the comment section if you guys would love to come see us record the podcast. I'm going to let you guys know where I'm going to be at these next couple days. It's going to be a good one. We're going to have some guests there, some people that have been on the podcast before. So it should be a good time. Make sure you guys comment below and suggest where we should record the podcast as well. But we will see you guys next time on the TPT podcast.